What is up, wrestling fans? Kayfabe Chronicles with your host, JB. Survivor Series is just around the corner. Oh, Survivor Series! Without a doubt, probably my second favorite show of the year, following just underneath the Royal Rumble. Survivor Series has changed over the years. Like, it essentially started off, what I remembered as a kid was it was all Survivor Series style matches. So it's going to be 4-on-4 elimination matches. So once a guy was eliminated, that's it, and it would be 4-on-3 and so on until one team was left at the end of it all. There's been some really great Survivor Series over the years, but then there's also been some sloppy Survivor Series over the years. So today I'm going to cover my top 5 favorite Survivor Series teams of all time. That's from the beginning all the way up until now. As you guys know, I am a little bit older, despite what my maturity level says, so there'll probably be some things on here that you guys will be like, what? Really? But yeah, like I said, Survivor Series, I love watching it every year. I'm really looking forward to it this year. So yeah, let's see what I think.
Number 5. Team Kingston, Survivor Series 2009.
So what can I say about this team in particular? It was great for starters. It was a really, really fun match. But the thing that really made me really love it was just the ending. Pretty much it just comes down to the end. Kofi Kingston's taking on CM Punk and Randy Orton. Like, it's a 2-on-1 situation. It's like this isn't going to end well for Kofi. Like, Kofi was still kind of new. Like, you know, it was old school Kofi, not the new day Kofi like we know today. So he was still kind of finding his own. But the thing that really, really pushed him kind of over the top for me was that he rolls CM Punk up, 1, 2, 3, eliminates CM Punk. As soon as that happened, Randy Orton slid into the ring and he was going to try to hit Kofi with the RKO. Kofi sees Randy Orton out of the corner of his eyes, avoids it, hits him with a Trouble in Paradise, and pins Randy Orton, so Kofi Kingston gets the win for his team. It was really awesome. Like I said, a new up-and-comer of Kofi Kingston, eliminating 2 of the top guys in the company at that time of CM Punk and Randy Orton. So it was a huge thing for Kofi. He would go on to win championships after that, but I think that was kind of the spot of his career that really cemented him as an up-and-comer, and as a threat to be to look out for. So yeah, definitely that whole match, that whole team deserves to be on this list.
Number 4. Team Degeneration X, Survivor Series 2006.
Team DX. It was an interesting year per se in regards to that. But the thing I really liked is it was like not your standard Team Degeneration X, like, you know, like the DX that you kind of all grew up watching, like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, all that crap. But the match itself, like the team build, was really cool. So it was Triple H, Shawn Michaels, the Hardy Boys, and CM Punk. Just overall, like just the chemistry and the style that they were kind of facing with each other. Like, it wasn't something that you saw before. It was a complete out of left field, and they worked really well together, surprisingly, despite, you know, going into the event where it was like, oh, this isn't going to work. And that, in my opinion, that was really the point where CM Punk kind of found his own. Like, the crowd was eating up every single thing that he did. So I'm picking this team to go in there just because it shouldn't have worked on paper, but it did. And it was a great team. And they definitely deserve to be on this list.
Number 3. The Hart Family, Survivor Series 1993.
Oh, the Hart Family, the Hart Brothers. Overall, the match itself wasn't really that great. But it was what it led into that made it really cool. This was, of course, if you guys remember, the start of the feud between Bret Hart and Owen Hart. That was one of the best parts of like the entire 1994 year. That ultimately culminated in essentially like their SummerSlam cage match, and then of course going on to Survivor Series after that, and so on. But yeah, like the match itself, pretty much the entire Hart team survived except for Owen Hart. And the way it happened is Owen kind of, you know, got thrown into the ropes and bumped into Bret, so he got distracted for a few seconds, and then he got rolled up and eliminated. But it was essentially like what happened after the match. Like, you know, like Owen Hart just snapped and, like, you know, just turned on his brother, like, you know, like, you cost me the match kind of thing. And then that's what planted the seeds in regards to their upcoming feud the next year. So overall, The match itself wasn't great, but it was the storyline that progressed because of this match that I really enjoyed. So that's why this team finds its way onto the list.
Number 2, the $1 Million Team, Survivor Series 1990.
Going into the 1990s Survivor Series, the $1 Million Man, of course, had his, I'm a mystery team member. So, like, everyone's wondering, like, who's it going to be? And all these names started kind of throwing in there, like, who could possibly be the mystery team? And it turned out to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, long-term character ever in the history of wrestling, in my opinion, The Undertaker. A little history lesson for you guys there. Undertaker, of course, made his debut Survivor Series 1990 as the mystery team member on the $1 Million Man's team. Automatic just dominated the match, like right up that, like Coco Beware runs him, he just chucks Coco Beware into the ropes, hits him with the tombstone. Like Undertaker was something that people hadn't seen before. Like, people were hitting him and he was no selling. He was just a huge dude that, just really struck fear into everybody's heart, and that's where it all started. Was in this match. Like, on paper, The Undertaker should have never worked. Like, when you read the idea now, you're like, alright, it's a gravedigger that has spooky powers from an urn and can't be hurt. Like, it just doesn't make sense, but like Mark Calloway just was given the opportunity with this role, and he ran with it, and he did it for almost 30 years, pretty much. So, so like, in reality, no, it wasn't a good match. It was actually a really sloppy match. But it's the fact that it was The Undertaker's debut. It was such an iconic moment in the history of wrestling that this team ranks really high up on my list. Like I said, if they would have gone with their original plan where it was going to be The Undertaker hatching out of the egg, like, who knows what would have happened. But yeah, it was just this pivotal moment in wrestling history is why it's so high on the list.
Number 1, the Visionaries, Survivor Series 1990.
I know what you guys are thinking. What? Okay, hear me out. I really grade the Visionaries as my favorite Survivor Series team of all time, mainly so the fact that they were the first team ever in the history of Survivor Series where the entire team survived. Plain and simple. No team had ever done that before, and they did it. Plus, the entire storyline with this match was great. Like, Rick the Martel sprayed the Arrogance cologne into Jake the Snake's eyes, blinding him for a period of time. And so, like, this match was essentially, Jake the Snake trying to get his revenge on Rick the Model, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. Like, the entire Jake the Snake's team was eliminated. A few would carry on until the next WrestleMania 7, where they would fight in the blindfold match. I'll talk about that another time. But yeah, like, this entire feud was really, really cool. And it's just like the sheer cockiness of Rick the Model Martel naming his team the Visionaries as a jab towards Jake the Snake, essentially like, hey, you were blind and I can still see, kind of thing. Plus the feud between the Rockers and Power and Glory at SummerSlam prior to this, where Shawn Michaels would get injured for a short period of time because of Power and Glory, kind of carried on into this match. But like, yeah, it was just mainly because they were such a cocky heel team, and they won, and they were the first team ever where all of them survived. So like, that's, in my opinion, more than enough credentials to put them at number 1 on the my favorite Survivor Series teams of all time. So yeah. And there you guys have it. What are some of your favorite Survivor Series teams? Let me know in that comment section below. Hey, I know, it's my list. Not everybody's going to agree with it. But hey, I'd like to hear what you guys think. Am I right? Are you guys right? Nobody's really right. It's wrestling. Everybody's going to have their own opinion on that. But as usual, if you like the video, crush that like button. Please subscribe and click that bell for notifications. Follow us on Twitter using the 2 name tags below in the description. And also check out that Facebook page. As always, this is JP from Kayfabe Chronicles, and I will see you guys next time.